here's all the efferent. Right, and so there's all sorts of gill stuff in here. So you have gill lamellae up in here. There's some of the gill bars. Here's some adductors, or whatever they're called, within your book. There's no gill rakers on this guy, so I'm not seeing any of those. Do we have them? So I'm looking for the internal carotids, and those are going to be up here at the front. They're basically coming up here from the front and going towards back into the skull. All right, what do the internal carotids supply? Your brain. So they got to be up here somewhere. All right, now in your shark, for all the blood vessels, you got a bunch of junk going on, and yes, there's this big mass in there, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. So, an artery on the stomach, what's that called? Gastric, right?
Livers.
Yes. Here on the intestine, what's that going to be? Yes. There's a bunch of like celiaco-mesenteric arteries in there. I'm not seeing them. They're not that great in this guy. What's this guy? Spleen. That celiaco has to do with the spleen. So if you got something coming from the spleen, it's going to have one of those things. Other than that, there's not a whole lot in the salamander as well. Besides the stuff that I showed you up here, all this junk and mess, and if I can't find it, you're probably not going to have to know it. Besides, there's a big vein, and maybe it's been pulled off in this one. But there's a big vein that comes from the liver down here. All right, and what are we going to call that? What's the big vein?
Hepatic.
Hepatic what?
Portal vein.
Hepatic portal vein. All right, and there's also like the hepatic portal tube or something. Forgetting the name. But like the hepatic portal is a tube that comes from, because you have all that stuff in the gallbladder, all that bile, and that's got to get down to the stomach. So you got a tube that comes down here as well. All right, but the veins are going to be nice and bright and yellow. So you've got another tube coming down here. Probably that actually. Down from the liver to this area, it's going to be the hepatic portal.
So you were some of the pancreatico-mesenteric arteries and things too?
Yeah, if I could find them. Yeah, I'd worry more about the names of these things that are on there. As far as organs go, it should be very apparent. That's the liver, right? They're gigantic in the shark. It's going to cut up really bad. So where's... All right, now you see that empty sac that's kind of greenish? All right there on the liver, that's the gallbladder. So here's all liver. So I come up in here. Oh wow, look at that.
Seafood.
Little piece of shrimp.
Oh, a shrimp?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. So cute. So that's the stomach.
So that's the stomach. I'm trying to find the papillae. That's all. So you see all those folds in there? Those are all the rugae. If we went up further, we should run into some finger-like projections, but I'm not seeing them. Still not seeing them, but they're up there somewhere. But you can get the sense that I'm all the way up here. The esophagus has got to be way up here. We'd have to like really pull this back and be all the way up here because I'm still seeing those rugae in there. All right, so it comes down. We've got the spleen there. Start guy. All right, and then we're coming in to the intestine, so there's going to be the pylorus. And now we're looking for the pancreas. So up in here, this isn't the best angle for it, but all this meaty stuff in there, just a little bit of fleshy stuff, that's the pancreas. So it's here, it's a little bit here on top as well. Right, and then you can see that right there, that change, that's going to be the pyloric sphincter. Right, and then we have intestine, 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 and all the way down here we have the colon. This little bean down there, that's the rectal gland. Right, so all the way down there, almost towards the cloaca. By the way, the hole down there, cloaca. You haven't gotten that yet. That's there. This is a male, so to see all of his bits, make him a male, I have to turn this over. All right, and now I've got these things. So those are going to be testes. And then you'll notice all this junk, it faintly looks like little tubes and kind of up along there. So those are going to be all of his ductus deferens. And in theory, yes, they should run all the way down. You can see that they're kind of coming apart. But those are all of his tubes there. And they look like really thinly coiled tubes. And his kidneys are all back along here, that darkish area, that's all his kidneys. Alright, the head. So, here at the front, you have the nasal sac.
I'll send you two guys on that.
Right? You've got the olfactory bulb behind that. There's a little branch of nerve that goes down. That's going to be the olfactory tract or the olfactory nerve. Here's the forebrain. Right, the midbrain is just this little bit underneath here. It's the only bit of midbrain that you see on this entire animal. And then here, from the cerebellum on back, what about there?